if, Jeff, if your father and your mother were fighting, would you go to the streets to make noise about them?
No.
No. What would you do? So when our leaders of that level are fighting, from where I sit, it is not for us to go to the media and call them names.
Yes.
It is for us to reach out to them in private and try and find out what's happening. How can it be sorted out? This the church has been doing, and we don't have to come to the camera to say we are doing it. So when we speak like we did last week, it is just announcing that we recognize that there's a problem, but we are not going to sort out our leadership issues at that level in public. It is disrespectful to the nation. It is disrespectful to our leaders.
But you're saying it's being done.
It's being done.
It's happening.
Not now. It has been happening. Jeff,
but the temperatures are still rising, Bishop. They're still rising.
They could be worse. Maybe they could have been worse.
Yeah.
Could
be boiling, maybe.
Yeah. Because as a religious community, as religious leaders, we are part of this country. Even BBI and all these things that happen. Shekia mentioned what role the church played when it was very difficult in terms of getting the new constitution process moving. We played those roles. We were not looking for positions.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the guys who are with us in that process are all with positions. Some in commissions, some in what, some in what. We are still pastors and sheikhs.
Yeah.
Are we together? Because we have no vested interest. So even in these situations, Kenyans should know that some of the things we see boiling over, perhaps they could be worse. But we as a religious community, we work in the background. I tell people that Jesus told us, you are the salt of the earth and you are the light of the world. When light shines like what is shining here, everybody sees. It's visible. But when salt is working in food, you don't see it. You taste it.
Yeah.
Only when you taste food, then you know there's salt or there's no salt. But before you taste the food, you can't tell whether there's salt. And so there are times when the church operates as salt, in the background, underground, trying to make things happen.
But to some viewers out there, some congregants out there, they look like, or it feels like the church has taken sides.
The perceptions, those are, you see, our Reverend Joya, and I appreciate him a lot. The time and season in which they were providing leadership to this country was a very difficult time and a very different time. The approach to dealing with the national issues was completely different from where we are today. So when you hear people saying, where are the Okulus, where are the guitarists, where are the Muges, and those people lived in a totally different time. If they were to live even today, they could not use those methods. Because under the new constitution, like Reverend Joya said, the operating field is totally different. The other day I was on Twitter, and there was this lady who was spewing all manner of evil against the leadership of this country. And just kept going and going. So I took interest. I thought, who is this? So I went to the profile to just check. I found this is a young girl of the university. And I'm thinking to myself, how can a young girl be calling president and deputy president all these kinds of names? It is part of the evil of democracy, if we say it so. Because democracy is a double-edged sword. Yeah. It cuts both ways. So if Bishop Okulu and Bishop Gitari and all those great men of God of yesteryears were to live today, they would not use the methods they used yesterday, because there is an open space where we can speak, we can express ourselves, we can picket and go and sleep back at home. You know, all those things. Yeah. That was not there at that time. And so we needed men of courage. Bishop and Joya here, Reverend Joya here, was beaten. We still have the videos.
Almost to death.
Almost to death. That was the space they were living in.
Yes.
Right now, we are in a different space. We are even talking these things, talking about the president on camera.
Openly.
Openly. So
yes.
the president and the deputy president, I want to say here openly that in the government that they have led, and even President Kibaki, they gave space for advice and for counsel. So that if we see something as religious leaders and we feel concerned about it, we can approach these people and say, we would like to visit with you. We don't have to tell them what the agenda is. And in many cases, they give us that space. We go and say, this is. They may agree or not agree, but at least we have said it. And a lot of that is happening in the background.
Behind the scenes.